The ongoing scandal surrounding Tiffany Henyard, the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, has captured the attention of the public, especially when the FBI began investigating her alleged misconduct. Unverified stories suggest that FBI investigators have been questioning famous Dalton locals, despite the fact that specifics are being kept under wraps. This is a blatant sign that Henyard's reputation has already been harmed by the probe. Federal officials are searching for documents pertaining to financial transactions over $10,000, with a primary focus on the Tiffany Henyard Foundation. Many local politicians, particularly trustees, are alarmed by the probe, which has jolted Dalton's political environment as more information surfaces tarnished by long-standing allegations that she misused her political position for personal gain. And even though the federal inquiry is still in its early stages, it has further damaged her reputation by lending credibility to these allegations. People in Dalton have started to question Henyard's leadership because they are afraid that additional discoveries will come, which has altered the local political scene. The growing scandal has undoubtedly affected Henyard's political career, as her once strong base of support has begun to disintegrate, and many authorities who previously supported her are now distancing themselves from it. Her attempts to bring Dalton back to life have been commended by her admirers. Henyard's political future is questionable, as he is currently involved in a scandal. The allegations under investigation, particularly those involving potential theft of public funds and political meddling in company matters, have severely harmed her credibility and political power. Her chances of recovering are uncertain. The investigation has raised concerns that Henyard may have embezzled public monies because to Dalton's budgetary constraints, especially after it was revealed that he had made large out-of-town travel and personal security costs. The investigation's most alarming finding, however, is that Henyard might have misused her political power to affect local business operations by blocking business licenses and permits for people who opposed her administration. Business owners in Dalton have been increasingly alleging that they were unfairly targeted out by the mayor's administration according to their political ties. In one famous case, George, the owner of Chase & House, formally protested that he was unable to renew his business license because of Henyard's re-election campaign. Boone Wood, the proprietor of a nearby ERI, also stated that his business license renewal was postponed for nearly a year, presumably due to his political ties with trustees who opposed Henyard's re-election, as the FBI continues its investigation into Henyard's alleged misappropriation of public funds and political interference in business affairs. The mayor may have exploited her position to settle personal scores, as these allegations point to a concerning practice of political favoritism and retaliation. The objectivity of the claims is currently being investigated. However, as more information comes to light and the investigation continues, business owners in Dalton, especially those who feel they were singled out politically, have started to speak out against what they see as a corrupt system that benefits those who support the mayor. Other local officials, many of whom have long disagreed with Henyard's leadership style, have also expressed concerns about the potential harm her actions may have done to Dalton's reputation and the integrity of the local government. Many citizens are demanding that their elected leaders be held more accountable and that public finances be handled more transparently. Many Dalton citizens are now seeking answers and advocating for reforms to guarantee that public posts are used for the benefit of the community rather than for personal gain. As their cynicism about Henyard's leadership has only grown. As more accusations surface and pressure mounts, the mayor's political future appears increasingly uncertain. Residents are eagerly awaiting the FBI's investigation's findings in the hopes of resolution and transparency. The investigation is expected to reveal more details about Henyard's administration, with many hoping it will bring clarity and much-needed accountability to Dalton's government. Henyard's political position has already been significantly impacted by the scandal, as company owners in particular are speaking out against what they see as politically motivated actions that have hampered their lives.
Which said it is policy for the agency not to comment on the nature, existence, or non-existence of any investigation that may be occurring. A public relations firm responded on behalf of the mayor, saying neither Henyard or the village of Dalton have received any subpoenas or been contacted.
After years of financial hardship, residents of Dalton, Illinois, have long felt that their concerns about corruption, poor management, and a lack of accountability were disregarded by local authorities. They attribute this to self-interest and leadership that seemed more concerned with their own interests than with meeting the needs of the community. For years, residents of Dalton have claimed that their hard-earned tax dollars were being misappropriated and diverted to private interests rather than used for the general good. However, the FBI's investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration has given the town's residents new hope for justice and reform. Henyard's tenure in office, which some perceived as a transitional period, is now overshadowed by serious accusations including embezzlement, the misappropriation of public funds, and a breakdown in the trust between the local government and its residents. Over time, residents became increasingly disenchanted with the town's administration due to wasteful spending, but the ongoing FBI investigation has given many who have long criticized the administration the justification they need to demand change, suggesting the possibility of a new chapter in Dalton's governance where integrity, transparency, and accountability might be restored. Political favoritism and the neglect of essential services like the fire department, contracts leaving the town's infrastructure in shambles, including roads that were in desperate need of repair. Leadership they felt failed to meet even the most basic needs of the community, instead focusing on questionable political appointments and lavish expenditures that seemed disconnected from the welfare of Dalton's residents. This persistent dissatisfaction has only been amplified by what many view as a systematic disregard for the very people whom local officials were elected to serve. However, with the FBI now involved, there is a glimmer of hope among residents that the investigation will be the catalyst needed to break the cycle of inefficiency, favoritism, and exploitation that has held Dalton in its grip for so long. Many are now hopeful that the investigation will bring about the change they've desperately sought, restoring Dalton's reputation and financial stability, which have been severely compromised by years of mismanagement. Residents are becoming more outspoken about the need for significant changes in the way the town is run, especially in terms of financial oversight and accountability. As the investigation continues, the harm caused by Henyard's administration has raised serious questions about whether the local government has actually been serving the interests of all citizens or just a select few. Henyard's excessive expenditures, including a scandalous vacation to Las Vegas paid by public money, has fanned allegations of corruption and misuse of power. This expenditure, plus other questionable financial decisions, has sparked widespread worries about the misuse of taxpayer cash, with many locals questioning how much of their hard-earned money was misallocated. During Henna's leadership, the FBI's investigation is now focusing on the Las Vegas trip, seeking documentation that could shed light on Henna's actions and the activities of other figures within her administration. For the residents of Dalton, the investigation represents more than just the possibility of legal accountability. It offers hope for the restoration of good governance. If the investigation uncovers the truth behind the alleged misconduct and leads to meaningful change, it could signal the beginning of a new era for Dalton, one in which the needs of the residents are placed at the forefront and public officials are held to the highest standard of responsibility and integrity. For years, Dalton's residents have felt abandoned by their leaders, but now with the ongoing FBI investigation, they see an opportunity to reshape the town's future, restore their trust in local government, and demand the kind of leadership that prioritizes the well-being of all citizens. With each new revelation, the call for change grows louder, and the hope for a future where Dalton is governed with honesty. As the investigation progresses and the town's authorities are held responsible, Dalton residents may finally have the opportunity to reclaim their city and restore the integrity that has been sorely lacking for years. Transparency and accountability have never been more accessible. Residents of Dalton, Illinois, feel deeply betrayed by their local government as a result of a number of troubling allegations and instances of mismanagement that the FBI's investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration has uncovered. At the heart of the investigation are travel logs and records linked to charitable foundations associated with Henyard's administration, which may provide insight into her alleged financial irregularities and abuse of power. Additionally, the FBI is investigating allegations for assault and retaliation involving a former aide. These allegations raise the possibility that Henyard may have taken advantage of her political position to retaliate against her detractors or opponents, which would further complicate the investigation. The investigation has also brought attention to Henyard's contentious hiring practices, which have been criticized as politically motivated and capricious. Many Dalton residents feel that the mayor has abused her power to reward political allies while punishing dissenters, creating an atmosphere of division and mistrust in the town. These grave accusations, along with the increasing scrutiny of Henyard's actions, paint a troubling picture of a leader who put personal interests ahead of the needs of the community. Dalton is now more divided and dubious of the administration's genuine objectives as a result of the persistent pattern of partiality and reprisals that has damaged public trust in the leadership. The lack of transparency in Henyard's administration has drawn criticism, and the FBI's probe has only strengthened skepticism about the mayor's intentions and leadership. With Dalton embroiled in at least 19 ongoing lawsuits in both Cook County and federal court, the town is also experiencing severe financial instability. The town's council recently disclosed that plans are in motion to drop these claims because of non-payment, revealing the deteriorating financial position under Henyard's direction and generating significant queries regarding the administration of public monies. Public ire has only grown as a result of this circumstance, as locals fear that Henyard's bad management may cause more economic downturn. Moreover, the growing suspicion of Henna's leadership in the face of growing calls for accountability has been strengthened by her refusal to allow an independent, unbiased investigation of her actions. The mayor's veto of a measure that would have permitted an independent probe has increased popular skepticism of her leadership. She has been accused of attempting to avoid scrutiny by hindering the investigation, which many view as more proof that she is more interested in preserving her reputation than maintaining the integrity of local government. As the FBI looks into Henna's conduct, the town is at a crossroads, with the possibility of much-needed reform and change hanging in the balance. Residents of Dalton are disappointed and disillusioned with the ongoing lack of responsibility. Her public image has been further damaged by her refusal to step down in the face of mounting scandals. The investigation's findings of a severe leadership breakdown, financial mismanagement, and a deterioration in trust between the mayor and the residents of Dalton put the town's reputation, financial stability, and public trust in local government at jeopardy. Whether Dalton can begin the long process of mending or continue to be enmeshed in scandal and dysfunction will likely depend on the choices made by Henna and her administration. Though it's unknown if this inquiry will lead to meaningful change, the FBI's entrance has provided hope to many who have long longed for justice and responsibility. Dalton's future is in doubt as residents wait for justice to be served and the town to begin recovering from the damage created by her administration. The demand to hold Henna accountable grows with each new discovery. The FBI's ongoing investigation into Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration has left residents of Dalton, Illinois, feeling more motivated and hopeful than ever. They now have little doubt that Henyard's tenure as leader will come to an end perhaps within a few years, because the town has been beset by corruption, bad management, and a breakdown in trust between the local government and its residents. The FBI's involvement has provided them with a unique opportunity to not only seek justice for the wrongs committed, but also to advocate for the systemic reforms the town sorely needs. Nowadays, a lot of Dalton locals think that this is the pivotal moment for the town to escape the pattern of political self-interest, corruption, and favoritism that has characterized Henyard's tenure. Deeply embedded problems in Henyard's administration have been revealed by the probe, from questionable political appointments and financial mismanagement to retaliatory measures against anyone who dared to disagree with her. People are beginning to believe that the town can actually start the long overdue reform process and turn the page for the first time in years. The FBI's investigation has evolved beyond a simple legal inquiry to become a symbol of the community's broader demand for accountability and change. Locals are calling for a thorough overhaul of the town's political structure, emphasizing how important it is to put the needs of the people before those of the government. Many residents now hope that Dalton will have a rare opportunity to reject the toxic legacy of Henyard and her administration and instead build a future based on public service, equity, and justice. Reform aims not just to correct historical excesses, but also to stop such failures from occurring in the future. Residents now feel empowered to call for improved governance that holds public officials accountable and rebuilds public trust in their leaders as a result of the FBI probe. As residents of Dalton unite around the conviction that the town needs a government that serves the people, not the interests of those in power, this moment of reckoning has inspired a sense of resolve and unity. The town is at a crossroads as the inquiry goes on, with the chance to stop the period of Henna's poor management and start a new chapter of moral leadership and constructive transformation, but it's still unclear how to go. Dalton's increasing optimism raises the possibility that the town is about to experience the transformative change it so desperately needs. A common dedication to holding people in authority responsible for their deeds and ensuring that the town's government operates with transparency, equity, and financial honesty at its heart drives this expanding movement. The people of Dalton, Illinois, are growing increasingly united in their call for accountability, transparency, and a future in which the local government genuinely serves all of its citizens, not just a chosen few. For the first time in years, residents who have long felt duped by a leadership that prioritized their personal interests over the communities have found some hope in the ongoing FBI investigation of Mayor Tiffany Henyard's administration, because they believe the FBI can assist address the corruption and poor management that have plagued Dalton for a long time. The town's residents are beginning to feel more hopeful and determined. They see the opportunity to begin the long overdue reform process and make leaders responsible for their actions. The stakes are quite high, and the town is at a tipping point because they regard the probe as an opportunity to usher in a new age of administration in Dalton, free from political favoritism, rather than just an opportunity to make amends for past wrongs. Many locals believe that it will result in a comprehensive overhaul of the local government. Corruption and self-interest have been hallmarks of Henyard's administration. The community is demanding reform in addition to correcting previous wrongdoing so that future leadership is distinguished by its commitment to the people rather than by political agendas or self-interest. Residents of Dalton feel they have the opportunity to shape their town's future, where the government genuinely serves the people and operates honorably while the investigation goes on. With an emphasis on financial openness, justice, and responsibility, it is hoped that Dalton will emerge from the shadow of corruption and bad management as a stronger, more united town prepared to take on future problems. Dalton citizens are demanding a system of governance that prioritizes their demands over those of a wealthy minority. The town's residents are now more confident as a result of the FBI probe and are resolved to seek justice and change. The community is certain that the lessons learned from this corrupt period will pave the way for a government that is genuinely representative, transparent, and accountable, and the investigation's conclusions will have a big impact on Dalton's future, in the hopes that it would bring about a brighter future where accountability is the standard and leadership is distinguished by its dedication to the welfare of all citizens. The people of Dalton are anxiously awaiting the disclosure of the truth. Thank you for viewing